Hey kitty cats, so today I'm gonna do a mask, and sorry, I suddenly throat got a little dry all of a sudden. And we've got this Jayjun Cosmetics Essential Calming Mask. I think I've had some things from Jayjun before, but I'm not sure. It just looks familiar to me. But this is pore tightening, and it says calming. It's essential, like an essential worker. Okay, yeah, I'm a little like just done with the whole world right now, but I think a lot of us are. Oh, this is hard to open. So please remember to, give me a thumbs up and share and all that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about. It helps me out a lot when you do those things. Subscribe, stuff like that. And I'd really appreciate it. However, if you don't like my stuff, I'm perfectly fine with you not subscribing. In fact, I would rather you didn't. If you don't like me or my stuff, woo, this is juicy. We all know I'm not too crazy about it when it's like too juicy. I can't even figure out. It's so like mushed together. I'm having trouble figuring out where to take it apart. There we go. And it's dripping. So I hate it when it's like dripping a lot, because that means it might drip in my eyes. But we'll see. Sometimes it's not as drippy once you get it on you. Of course, it's upside down, because why would I fold it upside right? Okay, there's one piece here that needs to go. All right. Ah, this thing just wants to fold in on itself a lot. Not really good luck in this thing. There we go. Alright. Sorry for the silence. I'm just really concentrating on trying to get this on as best I can. Okay. Take a little Kleenex to get my glasses back on. Whee! And then we can straighten this out a little bit more. There we go. Spread that down my neck, because my neck gets really irritated, so it could use some calming. Usually we discuss things that are going on in my life. My life has been, the past week I didn't do any videos not because of software or computer problems, but because I really wasn't comfortable making a video at that time. And even though these things are still going on, the George Floyd death, and I just wasn't comfortable. I felt like I needed to take a week of no videos, because talking about makeup and skincare during this time felt wrong. But I also realized this is going to be going on for a while. It has been going on before this even happened. The police brutality and the racism. I'm not going to touch too much on it, but I am going to say Black Lives Matter. If you feel differently, just unsubscribe yourself, or don't subscribe and leave. Don't comment down below All Lives Matter or any of that stuff, because I am just going to block you. I have people in my life that are people of color that I love sincerely, and I always, before this even happened, I would often worry about them. I have family that I worry about, and friends that I worry about. I worry about them being out and being pulled over and horrible things happening to them. I worry about it. And I would like to live in a world where I wouldn't have to worry about that. So yeah, I'm for the protesting. I don't want to hear, I'm for the rioting. I don't want to hear, because the riotings happen when the police start being brutal. We had a protest here, and the police here were directing traffic. They did not attack people. In fact, they did make an arrest at the second protest that we had in this town, but it was not a protester. It was actually somebody yelling at the protesters, and he was getting very aggressive with young women that were in the protest and calling them racial slurs, etc. And he was arrested for that because he was threatening them. And yeah, that's not okay, and the police here don't like that. Not to say that they're perfect here either, because they're not. But like I said, I don't want to keep going on that. In fact, how many minutes? This is 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. Take a look at what this says. I've already had it on for a little bit. I'm gonna put on for 10 on my timer. There we go. So like I said, if you're not in agreement with those things, just leave. Don't try to argue with me. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna block you. If you don't want to educate yourself about these things, it's not my problem. I'm not going to sit here and educate you and fight with you, because there is no reason for you not to be educated. There's so much information over social media and across the internet that if you're making a choice not to educate yourself, and that's not my problem. I'm not dealing with people that don't want to educate themselves. So anyways, also, you know, there's a great book called White Fragility. I know it's like sold out a lot, but it is possible to get it. It might take a little time to find one, but it is possible. That's where I'm going to leave it at. If you want to educate yourself, that's a great book. Anyways, so, yeah, otherwise than that, things have been just us here, you know, because the pandemic's still going on. People like to pretend it's not, but it is. And so even though I did go to a protest, I stayed in the car during it. And because I just can't take the chance. Because I have an autoimmune and Bianca has cystic fibrosis. So we, you know, didn't go out to as many things. We have been allowing one person to come by and to even come inside as long as they distance themselves. And that's it. We've had people ask for rides to places, and we've just been like, we can't do that. We can't do that right now. We're sorry, but we can't. But I have been a little on the lazy side. I'll be honest. Some nights I'm not even like cooking, and you guys know I love to cook. I love to bake. I'm hoping to make a strawberry rhubarb cobbler today, like a big one. Like, you know, I did a video, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, or about a month ago, of making strawberry cobbler. This is going to be a strawberry rhubarb cobbler that I'm going to make, and I'm going to make it twice the size. So I'm going to put it in a different container. That I put it in a pie plate. This I'll be putting it in a 9 by 13. And I just double the recipe. So that's possible if you want to go back and look at that. We are going to have, I do have some things I want to do for Foodie Friday. There's stuff I've been wanting to do, but I've just been kind of like stuck in a rut. Sorry, somebody messaged me. So, yeah, I've been stuck in a rut, and then there's been crazy things happening in the world that has also made me just go, and not feel like up to it. But I'm like, I'm gonna do a Mass Monday because I need to get back on track. So that's what I'm doing today. Yeah. Bianca, however, she was in the hospital yesterday for a cystic fibrosis related thing. She's okay. She's at home. They just gave her a stronger medication. I don't want to get into too much detail because it's very personal to her. So I'm not really going to talk about it too much, but yeah, it was just like crap because I couldn't go into the hospital with her because of the rules, and she had to do this on her own, and the doctor was not listening to her. So she had to have the doctor call me, and I can tell you, I didn't like him either. He was trying to not listen to me, and I was not having any of that. It's like, oh, you're gonna cut me off, so I'm gonna cut you off. Like, because this is not going to happen the way that you think it is. He was just, I totally respect doctors when they listen to their patients. Because you can't make a proper diagnosis if you don't listen to your patient. And this doctor was just, he didn't listen to her, and he wasn't listening to me, and he refused to go and call her CF doctors, her cystic fibrosis doctors, the pulmonary specialists and stuff, and talk to them. So I basically just told him, this is what they usually do in these situations. And he was like, oh, I don't think we need to do that. And I was like, I think that you should do that before you make any other decisions. Like, because that's what's usually done. She has cystic fibrosis, and you wouldn't want to make a bad diagnosis and then she gets hurt and it's on you because you didn't listen. And then he got quiet, and I was like, so I really think you should do this, this, and this, because that's what the CF doctors have always done. And when people have called to consult them, they're like, the first thing you need to do is this. It's like, and I told him, I was like, she's had this since she was born. We've known about it since she was born, which means that I have been dealing with this for 21 years. So I know what's usually done. And I was like, and if you do those things and turns out she doesn't have what going on, what I think she has, then do your thing, you know? I was like, but you really should do this first. So he was like, fine. He was like, I will do that. And Bianca, when Bianca came home, she was like, I guess he must have finally called the CF doctors because he went and I was like, no, he didn't. I was like, that was me. I was like, he really was insistent on not calling them. I was like, so I told him what's usually done, and we had a little conversation. And she was like, oh, I figured you would just tell him to call the CF doctors. And I was like, yeah, well, I know what they always do from years of experience with this, so I just told him that. So, yeah, he was totally ignoring the fact that she has cystic fibrosis and wanted it to be this complete different diagnosis that I was like, no, that's not what's going on. You're like ignoring the situation. But anyways, it just always just surprises me because I have friends too that, you know, are nurses, or I have one friend who's studying to become a doctor. I have another friend that's in the field that is a doctor, doesn't live around here, and I told them all about this, and they were all just like, what? Like, you never ignore somebody that already has like a disease. You always go there first to make sure it's not something to do with that disease they already have. Like, why would you make a diagnosis like that without checking other things first? So yeah, it was just really like, you are not doing your job right, and that pisses me off. Because I totally respect the field, and I know that they're going through a lot lately, but that doesn't excuse not diagnosing somebody properly and not listening to them. It doesn't excuse that. And yeah, I was just upset. I also have a friend that works in that emergency room, and I haven't talked to her, but I'm sure she's seen it. And I can say, I've not had the issue. I know a lot of people have had issues with that emergency room for different reasons. I have not had a lot of issues with them, especially in recent years. I was really surprised at this doctor, because in recent years, I have had really good care there, and they've taken good care of me. And they took good care of my friend's kid not that long ago. And like, so I was surprised. Like, just, you know, that there was somebody there that wasn't, you know, doing their job right. Like, always listen to the patient. And I'm sure I have friends on here, and I know some of you that support me are nurses or etc. And I'm sure you agree. Like, you have to listen to the patient first and find out information to make a proper diagnosis. Right? So, this is almost time up. So I'll be able to take it off and rub the serum in, I think. What does it say? Yeah, there it goes. So, we're done with that. Pat Excess Essence. Essence. It's not serum, it's essence. I just love the words some of these places use sometime. Okay, we're gonna throw that out. Oh, Pat, are you kidding me? There is so much serum on my face. That's gonna take a while to dry. Like a while. Yeah, that's a lot of serum that's on my face from that. So, I don't know how calming it's been. I have a lot of irritation underneath my chin, along my throat. But that's basically psoriatic arthritis stuff, so I have to just deal with that. I was hoping this would like help ease it a little bit, but it didn't really do that. But my face does feel nice, but it's still covered in serum, so there's like, I don't know. Has anybody else ever used this mask? I mean, it was from an Ipsy box, so I assume other people got it. Like, I'd love to know what you thought. This is pore tightening and calming. I assume there's citrus in it since it has oranges and like a lime and stuff on it, right? Or is that a lemon, lime, whatever. Ingredients, water, glycerin, the usual stuff, you know. A bunch of things that I can't understand. I'm just looking, there's tea tree oil in it. There's grapefruit peel oil, rosemary oil, lemon oil, Pinus sylvestris leaf oil, eucalyptus. Okay, so there are definitely some essential oils in here, and some of them are citrusy, grapefruit and lemon. So yeah, I think it'll be good in the end. I mean, if anything, I always say these are always so hydrating. So, and that's really nice. So these are always hydrating. Anyways, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And all I'm gonna say is, you know, be kind to the people who deserve it. I'm really changing my stance a little bit. I know I used to be like, be kind, no matter basically what they do. I had a different thing each time that they did that was not good. But now I'm just like, be kind to people that deserve kindness. I mean, be kind, but if someone is not being kind, don't bother. You're probably not going to change their mind, and they're being kind back to them. They just don't deserve it. And it probably isn't going to change the way that they're going to act. I don't know. Some people are not being kind, like, because they're tired, or, you know, I understand that. Like, you're having a bad day at work. But then there are people that are just overall horrible and probably don't deserve it. So I guess, you know, you have to just kind of figure out who deserves it and who doesn't. And that's all I'm going to say about that today. Maybe I'm going to have to change my stance on kindness. Otherwise than that, I love you all. Love you, kitty cats. Bye-bye.